Can I be your legacy?
No, you absolutely cannot. Not with the shit you pulled, but we're gonna get into that. Before we start, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't watched Queen and Slim, you should probably go watch it first. Or not, it doesn't really make me any difference, but you have been warned.
Well, if it isn't a Black Bonnie and Clyde.
The 2019 film was directed by Melina Masuka, in which this was her first and only feature directed to date. Screenplay by both James Frey, co-author of the I Am Number 4 book and its series Lauren Legacies, and the Shy creator Lena Waithe. The film follows a pair on their first date as it turns sour when they kill a hostile police officer in self-defense and go on the run from the long arm of the law. When this movie came out, I had some interest in watching it, but not enough for me to run out to the theaters if I'm being honest. It wasn't until I listened to the soundtrack that I said, this album is pretty good. I wonder if the movie's even better. I've never been so wrong in my life. Good quality music just thrown to the wayside. I mean, the soundtrack was phenomenal. The movie didn't do it any justice. So I made my way to the theater and was vastly disappointed by how hard the movie tried to pander to the audience. I idolized the Malcolm X approach more than MLK, but this movie does a lot to pencil in their message instead of letting it come naturally.
I really gave niggas something to believe in.
Let's start with some positives. The idea and intent of this movie was absolutely there. We are in a time where police brutality is being exposed to the masses, and Queen and Slim tells a story of what if those being victimized fought back. This isolated incident makes a great start for a promising story. I won't get too political or social on this video, so no worries. This film was shot beautifully. They made sure the melanin was the point of focus. Not a lot of filmmakers can light African Americans properly without compromising their features and true skin tone. Another thing I appreciate is how we don't know their names until the damn movie is over. That was a nice subtle touch to play into getting to know the characters. It's like they want us to address them as Queen and Slim when we talk about them. We literally learn everything about them through their journey, except their names. You ever met someone that you end up being real good friends with for a long time, but you never really knew their real name, but you don't want to ask because you're already invested, so it doesn't even matter now?
You know who we are?
The story of Queen and Slim, in my opinion, had so much potential. The events and blatant disregard for reality makes the film very difficult to appreciate. A lot of those choices made by the title characters are very much head-scratching. Through most of the film, Slim is passive, awkward, and just flat out doesn't think about certain things. Queen, she's arrogant, rude, and quite demanding. It's alleged that Queen is a lawyer, a defense attorney. She's already in a bad mood due to her client being executed, which is quite understandable. But why would she antagonize this cop? To which now Slim has to deal with even more than he would like to, leading the cop to being extra aggressive with Slim, but the passive person that he is lets the cop do whatever he wants. This idiot gives the cop permission to perform a search in his car for no reason at all. Is he unaware of standard traffic laws, or just standard laws in general? No warrant, no search. The moment he decides to assert himself, the cop draws down on him. Then here comes Queen with the "I'm reaching for my phone" while she's already outside the car, instead of having it already out and recording. The cop shoots her, then Slim shoots him. A lot of poor choices being made in this one instant, which leads to the ultimate idiotic decision by the only person who actually knows the law.
We can't just leave him here.
Yes, we can.
Ma'am, you are a lawyer. Is that the best idea you could come up with? Your firm could easily defend Slim in court and argue self-defense with you as a reliable witness and having 2 camera angles of the incident.
Are y'all the new Black Panthers? Is that what this is?
I could understand if They were in a complete panic and reacted on impulse, but they were calm and yet came to that decision. Well, Queen did, because Slim was just a little puppet at this time in the film. The writers didn't make this movie seem relatable or realistic to the times in any capacity besides these three things: the police abuse of power, dating on Tinder, and the Pontiac Catalina breaking down in the middle of a road trip. But just about every other event was completely exaggerated with a great lack of common logic. For instance, stealing the truck of the sheriff that gave them a ride to the gas station. Once he found out they were wanted for the shooting of the cop, why didn't he tell the clerk to call the police or state troopers and set up a roadblock or something? Slim pacing back and forth didn't help their case of getting away unnoticed. Pacing is a clear indicator that something is wrong. Now, when they take the sheriff's truck, you would think the truck would have a GPS in it for tracking, since it belongs to a sheriff. Nope, they just drove the truck across state lines unnoticed. Another improbable scenario is the number of people that helped Queen and Slim escape from Ohio. Queen's Uncle Earl, he's a given. His war buddy Shepard, he's doing a solid for his buddy no matter the consequences. I can respect that. Everybody else seems to just go along with it for the purpose of the story. Like the store clerk here. Slim lets him hold and point a loaded gun at him in exchange for free gas. The same loaded gun he brandished as a scare tactic. Or this entire bar. You mean to tell me that everyone in that bar was just okay with fugitives rendezvousing in their place of unwinding? Just accepted them with open arms like the police won't come in and shut all that shit down.
Don't worry, you're safe here.
And this officer is kinda on the fence with me. I'm not sure how I feel about him letting them go. I feel like it had to happen for them to actually escape. Side note, why isn't there any police watching the back of the house? Unrealistic actions once again. But I digress. I'm going to say that he felt good helping his people and got some self-satisfaction, while also knowing they'll probably get caught somewhere else, so it's a win-win. That's what I'm going with, like it or not. Moving on. This guy here didn't know what the hell he wanted. He didn't approve of what Queen and Slim did, yet he still decides to fix their car. Then he sends his son to show them the town. In what world would you send your child off with strangers, let alone strangers that you just talk shit about? Knowing what they did doesn't sit right with you. You send your son to spend time with them and possibly be influenced by their actions or worse. You can't make this stuff up. Well, you can, because they need a setup for a powerful scene later on.
So what you gonna do? You gonna shoot me? You gonna shoot me if I don't leave?
But the biggest perpetrator, the biggest hater of them all was this living embodiment of the state of Florida. Listen, I know I just talked about how unrealistic it was to get all that help. But for him to be the snitch, that really blew me. If it's one thing this movie did right, it was to make a character that pissed everyone off. He was swift with the finesse. He befriended them, made them believe he knew the shepherd when he didn't know who the hell they were talking about. They were so close, but got tricked out of their position. I'm just glad he wasn't from Jacksonville. That's Southern Florida activity right there.
Damn, man, why you giving me the third degree? I'm trying to help you out.
I'm all for romantic sex scenes. Queen and Slim's didn't really do it for me. But here's why. Before that moment of passion, Queen is mourning her mother and how she had to cope with her death and the aftermath of it. The writers decided to make this the leading factor to their sex scene. This woman's vulnerable state. Like, what the hell is going on here? Not to mention, it's juxtaposed with a damn protest that the mechanic's son is attending, and he shoots a cop because he wants to be a fake ass Malcolm X. The entire sequence is thrown together. I just know Lena Waithe really believed that this was going to be a powerful scene in the movie. I don't know how a vulnerable woman having sex alongside a meaningless murder would be a good idea, but hey, I just live here.
Power to the people.
All in all, Queen and Slim had a lot of potential. The story could have been a lot stronger. I feel like if there was a little bit more logic behind what was going on and some semi-realistic events, I think the movie would have had a bigger impact than it did. But let me know what you think of this film. What are some of the things you would have liked to see happen? Am I the only one who hates Florida's version of Ludacris? Let me know in the comment section. While you're at it, like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all be easy.